Hey everyone, it's Graham. What's cracking? All right, new year, new count. First book down. Sea Dragon by Richard Paulinelli. From what I understand, Paulinelli wrote this as a script for a comic book back in the 80s, which I don't know if it actually ended up getting made, but he then had it, he was able to adapt it recently to a novella, got the rights back or whatever, and here it is. It's a short one. It's under 200 pages in print. I plugged it into Speechify, turned it into a poor man's audiobook because I live that trucker life, and I enjoyed it. It was how would I describe this? It was like if the recent Aquaman movies didn't suck. The main character is a guy named Walter Koch, and he, is in the military. Presumably a Navy or a Marine. He's some kind of diver. I can't remember which branch. I always get him confused. But he's testing this experimental suit. It's biotechnological. It's some next gen thing. It's really it's skin tight. He can't even have hair on his body when he wears it, and they've got to put Vaseline on him. It's some kind of biogel. It's a technology component of the suit, but they got to grease him up, get him in this skin tight thing, and when it's all dialed in and connected to him, he can breathe underwater. He can see underwater. He can dive extremely deep. They let him go down to 400 meters or something with this thing. It's awesome. He's out, with the military, out on maneuvers, testing this new suit out. They go to explore a deep site underwater, and then there's this massive explosion, and the other divers are all killed. He's recovered, but he's fused to the suit. And this is all, within the first couple of pages. They can't get him out of it. It's still operational, but it's basically connected to his skin, and they would more or less flay him alive if they tried to get him out of it. To make matters worse, he's been gone and out of contact for a week, and he's been reported dead. Now this new agency comes in and recovers him from the military. They are the Epsilon Group. We are the X-Men. We are the Avengers. We are independently funded superhero group of indeterminate name. They just call it the Epsilon Group. They go around rounding up metahumans, mutants, people with superpowers, more or less. There's terminology for it that's unique to the book, but it's all very familiar, and you can kind of fill in other familiar names of these things. And so he's more or less Aquaman adjacent, but he's not from the secret Atlantean kingdom. He's not secretly Atlantean. He's just a guy, but he's got this tech stuck on him now, this Iron Man type fish suit that he can hopefully get removed someday. But his life as he knew it is over. Epsilon will fund his existence and research a cure, but until then, he works for them. He's understandably upset about this, and it takes some convincing, but after talking to the leader of Epsilon, who's got some abilities and secrets of his own they're really cool, and I don't want to give it away. It's worth it to read it and find out excuse me, what it all is and how it works. He's like, hey, you can trust me, and he explains why, and Walter comes around. He's like, okay, yeah, cool, I've got your back. They got to keep doing some deep diving missions, so they keep sending Walter down below, and while he may not be Atlantean, he starts to meet some people who are. Turns out Atlantis is real, and if that's not shocking enough, so is its sister city. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Mu. It's just spelled M-U. There are two cities deep under the water. They've got beef with each other. They've duked it out before, thousands of years ago. It caused lots of conflict and turmoil on the surface. So they don't want to do it again. Nevertheless, there are factions in these underwater cities that are stoking the coals, as it were, to the extent that you can underwater. And they need an intermediary, a diplomat, an ambassador, somebody who can come in and kind of calm things down while figuring out who is it that's pulling strings behind the scenes to piss these guys off and trigger an underwater war. And hey, the new fish man on the block is the man for the job. So they send him down, and he gets kind kind of embroiled, kind of entangled in the intercity politics between these two underwater civilizations. I'll save the rest for you just because it's a short book. And there are times like when I was listening to it that you can tell it was adapted from a comic script. That's just the feeling that I got from it, because I've read enough comics and enough books, obviously, that it's like, wow, it almost feels like this was originally created in a different format. It's kind of a matter of its pacing and the way that it reveals things, but it doesn't leave you unsatisfied. It just moves very quick for a novel. I guess that's why it's a novella. And these are two different formats, and if you're adapting one from the other, there are things that you've got to change and flesh out a little bit more, because a picture's worth 1,000 words, so the pictures in a comic book save you from the 1,000 words that you would otherwise write. You can kind of see like where Palinelli was filling things in or converting it to a novella. But it was good, and I would read another one in this world. Far as I know, it's actually coming out this week. I was able to get a pre-release copy and listen to it. And what else is there? Like the characters are good. Content warning. There's a little bit of profanity. There was one F-bomb. There's a couple of other things. So, a movie version of it would be PG-13. No like sex scenes or anything like that. The violence and action was pretty intense, but not like overly focused on the gory details or anything like that. So worth the read. So yeah, go check out Sea Dragon by Richard Palinelli, my first read of 2024 in the books. Until next time, drive safe. See you out there.